evening. I'm going to call this meeting of the Hardin County Board of Education to order. If everyone will please stand, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Mr. Glenn, do you have our board commitments?
Sure. To improve our effectiveness, the Hardin County Board of Education commits to keep children first, to listen, to be prepared, to be professional, to demonstrate financial stewardship, to represent the entire district and support district goals, and to support board decisions.
Thank you. And Mr. Wright.
Yes, ma'am. You have together, or in front of you, a resolution for the HCS Better Together Award. We have some great folks we're going to recognize this evening, Madam Chair. So if you all would pass that, we'll get started with that.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Layla Williams. Layla, are you here? Come on up, Layla. I will just tell you that Mrs. Kimball is here, so there will be excitement in the cheering section. So Layla Williams, hi Layla, she is a John Hardin High School junior. She is captain of the girls' track and cross-country team and vice president of marketing for the JHHS DECA Club. She is raising money to promote mental health for her peers by selling candygrams and bracelets with positive notes. Principal Mark Wells says that Layla has combined her strong work ethic and drive with her passion for helping others. Her project, called Athletes Game, which stands for Giving Athletes Mental Empowerment, is designed to help athletes learn to balance the stress of being a student athlete, something she has done very well. Layla has already introduced her project to John Hardin students, and she is currently working on ideas for furthering her outreach. She participates in Boom Kentucky, which is a program working with high school startups by merging code and entrepreneurship. She will also participate this summer in the Governor's Scholars Program. Thank you so much for being you. We appreciate you. And Sabrina, do you have Ms. Mom here? Yes, please stand. We want to recognize you as well. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
For raising a wonderful young lady. All right, this is about to get wild now. Candy Bradford and Sabrina Barney, come on out. All right, so Candy Bradford is the library media specialist, and Sabrina Barney is an instructional assistant at Meadowview Elementary School. Ms. Bradford and Ms. Barney work with the students in the school's greenhouse each Friday. They spend the entire day in the greenhouse with classes from every grade level. They're supervised as students planted a number of vegetables and fruits last spring. Mrs. Bradford and Mrs. Barney made it a priority to come to the school this summer to water and tend the garden so students could enjoy a harvest when students return to school. They've given the students a chance to harvest and eat various fruits and vegetables, including honeydew melon, and they even had students make zucchini bread and bake it in the school's kitchen from zucchini grown by those students. The amount of time, energy, and resources they have put into the greenhouse is immeasurable. Thank you all. We appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, first we'd like to, we're going to recognize all these folks as a group, but we like to kind of bring them up individually and then get everybody together as a group. So Baptist Health Hardin, there's some folks from Baptist Health Hardin here tonight. There's some folks from the Hardin County Coroner's Office here tonight. Come on up, Hardin County Coroner. Hardin County EMS, is there someone from Hardin County EMS here tonight? Elizabethtown Police Officer Larry Robinson, are you here, Officer Robinson? And we know Officer Stevens from Radcliffe Police is here. Come on up, Officer Stevens. Oh, the Health Department. Health Department, are you here? Health Department, come on up. I'll get you. We'll get you a plaque, Health Department, I promise. All right? So these folks, these organizations, Madam Chair and board, they have spent several days in our district's high schools to present a drug overdose simulation. That work has taken them away from their full-time jobs, and as you can see, these are extremely important folks to our community. But it has been critical to ensuring that our students know the dangers of drug abuse and the deadly habits that it creates. This simulation is based on the fentanyl overdose of Central Hardin High School graduate Andrew Mikutuk, and his family is here tonight. We owe them a round of applause, and thank you for sharing your story. Their story is going to save lives, and we appreciate that. It's followed by a panel discussion among representatives of these agencies and a question and answer session with students. These agencies and officers have worked extremely hard to plan the simulations that have been presented several times at each of the district's high schools. They have presented it multiple times at all 3 high schools, so that's a lot. HCS is extremely grateful for this partnership it has with each of these agencies and its dedication to students. We couldn't do what we do without you. Thank you. All right, so I think we're going to maybe take some group pictures of your groups out in front of the backdrop out in the hallway. All right?
When are you going to do that? You going to do that right now? During the meeting?
Yeah, probably right now. I'll do that. I'll take care of that. You guys
Okay.
go about the business. So thank you all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Wright.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Sutton?
We've got 2 things tonight to focus on academics. First thing I want to talk to you all about is financial literacy. So you know we use the Dave Ramsey Financial Literacy Program at the high school level. You're all aware we've had great community support on getting that program in our students' hands. But now they have a middle school program. It's called Foundations of Entrepreneurship. And I was meeting with Holly Sexton, which I do a lot, at a Bound Credit Union, Jake Drabos, because they support us in our Evervive Vault Understanding Program for elementary school. And I said, what can you do for us for this middle school program? It's a project-based learning program we can put in our kids' hands. And Holly and Jake said, hey, let me get back to our CEO and president there at Bound. We'll get back to you. So they called me one day, and when they told me what they were going to do, I dropped the phone, fell out of my chair, got back up, put the phone back up, and say that one more time. And so I want them to come up tonight and be able to share what they're doing for our middle school kids, for our Foundations of Entrepreneurship middle school program. So I want to call on Mr. Ray Springsteen, the CEO and president of Abound Credit Union, and Jake Drabos, the CFO, Chief Financial Officer of Abound. Let them say a few words.
Thanks for having us tonight. I think it is very fitting tonight. So November 16th is actually the anniversary of Abound Credit Union being founded in 1950. It was 10 veterans on November 16th, 1950, that pooled their money together to create the credit union. They had one major goal in mind, was to make a difference in the lives of those in the community. And I think it's fitting for us to be able to have the opportunity to present this check to you tonight, to be able to continue to support financial education in our community. We think it's making a difference. We get the opportunity to help thousands upon thousands of children, middle school, high school, and adults. So thanks for having us tonight and being able to present this check to you.
So the program costs $7,000 a year for all of our middle school students to have access to it, and they said we're going to pay for a 3-year contract. So they have a $22,000 check to give to Ms. Morgan, our board chair, and whoever would like to. Also, Chastity Yates was a big part of this conversation. She's going to be working with us as a middle school director, getting our program vertical aligned. So I want to thank her for being part of this as well. So if they come up and take a picture with us tonight and present this check, I'd greatly appreciate it.
All right, man, false. All right, here we go. Storage is full. All right, that'll work. All right, so sorry. Now straighten up that checklist a little bit. Okay, here we go. Sorry to be about so long. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Astounding.
That's hard to top, isn't it?
That's pretty
right.
That's pretty awesome. We
That's great.
Greatly appreciate all that support.
Appreciate our community partners of Bound Credit Union. Tonight, we also have our health sciences program. We We have two teachers here tonight, Miss Monica Hall, Miss Summer Cruz. They say they are just cheering on tonight. What they did, you kind of see in the last 2 months, we've had project-based learning and problem-based learning, two different things. Problem-based learning, short-term, project-based learning, 1 to 2 weeks. Well, this was a trimester-based project, something they did throughout the entire trimester. They got a chance to focus on their oral and written communication and present it to a group. And if you were at EC3 about a week ago, maybe before the end of the trimester, you would see all these groups of fellow science students presenting, and it was impressive. And I asked Mr. Robbins, I said, just send me one group. I don't know how you chose one group, because I know it's hard because they all did a great job, but I appreciate them, one, supporting our project-based learning initiatives, and two, just having the courage to come here tonight and present the great work they're doing in health sciences. So I think they have 4 students here tonight to present, focus on academics, so come on down, we're ready for you. Let's give them a big round of applause. And if you all could, just make sure you say your name and what school you represent as well. Appreciate it.
Got a good group of principals here tonight.
They're going to want them to come to the mic.
If y'all could come to the mic, we're going to put your project here. Now, y'all can face the group, and y'all may have to take turns moving in and out here so we can hear you, but come on behind the mic here and tell us your name and let you all speak from here.
Is this good? Yeah. Okay, my name is Cheyenne. I go to North Hardin.
My name's Chloe. I go to John.
My name's Amaya. I go to Central.
My name's Millie. I go to John.
We just finished our Principles of Health Science class at EC3. During the trimester, we had a project that combined all we learned to one final project, building a healthcare facility. Ours was rehab.
We presented our facility to healthcare professionals in our community and received feedback.
We roughly had 12 weeks to complete the 3D model of our assigned facility information, weekly too, from what we have learned to incorporate like rules, guidelines, payment information, and so much more, to start a facility from the ground up as well as create talking points.
We started this project with the basics and built our way up each week. The first week we were presented with a driving question. The question was, how can we design effective healthcare models to address the shortage of healthcare facilities and improve access to affordable medical services and high-quality patient care in our area?
Looking at this question, we learned new information each week to build up to this end goal. The first week was about personal and professional qualities. This chapter was used in our project to help us determine what qualities we were looking for in our employees and what qualities we would need to work together as a group to complete our project.
Our next chapter was the history of healthcare. This section helped us, especially with the development of new ideas in our facility. We were able to learn new technologies and therapies we could use so we don't repeat history and can improve healthcare in our facility.
Our 4th chapter was at healthcare careers. We learned what careers we will need to have in our facility and what people needed to do them. This was done through roundtable discussions with healthcare professionals in the area. We really enjoyed getting to hear how a day in the life of their career worked.
Our 5th chapter was infection control and safety. In this chapter, we learned what procedures needed to be taken in case of an outbreak and what measures we would need to incorporate to keep our employees and patients safe. This was especially helpful in determining our emergency procedures for our facility.
We ended content looking at growth and development and culture practices. This taught us how to effectively give care for patients at all stages of life, even during the death and dying phase, all while respecting different cultural practices.
The final step was constructing and preparing our 3D model to find something that made our facility stand out. So let's take a look at our facility.
And then here's our 3D model that we made. So at the top, like, you can open it and look on the inside to kind of see like all the different rooms and features that we have. We have elevators and steps so that everyone can get upstairs. And then separate rooms, since it will be like long-term, bathrooms in each room and a weight room.
This is our color-coded uniform chart. So depending on your job, you'll have a certain color scrubs to wear, just so that all of our patients can know like who they are working with, because sometimes a lot of patients that aren't all the way there and just need some help, and these will be on the walls of the room.
And they're representing the colors of their
That's
uniform.
right.
That's great. I wondered about that. Now I know.
Dietitian and pink nurse and what's his other color, a gray or physical therapist and a therapist. That's great. Purple, okay.
And then we also have our notebook here, which has each week, like new chapters that we read and that we learned, and then all the notes that we took in preparation for our project.
Wow,
Excellent.
great.
Thank you, community agreements, your roles and very fine.
Talk about your role, what your role was. So I was the assigned leader of this project, kind of overseeing everything and
Miss Ryan would like for you to talk at the mic.
I'm sorry.
You're on TV.
I was assigned as the group leader, kind of overseeing everything and making sure everything got done, and then delegating tasks to everyone to make sure that our time was used efficiently. Emily, do you want to talk about your pictures that you did?
So I designed like all the digital work with like the Facebook page and then like the advertisement and then the chart for the scrubs.
I took the facility home and painted it and like helped put it all together. I was the one who like created all the 3D objects and stuff in the rehab center.
Wow.
Please.
So, as you can tell, I'm Summer Cruz. I was their instructor, but Monica Hall is also one of the health science instructors. And this group, they did a really wonderful job. This was the first time we had done this project as well. And our goal was really for them to take that content and look at our area that is growing very much and see that we do have a need for different types of facilities. And there are multiple patients that are out in our community and how we can best serve them. And I think they did a great job. They took a handle, on that driving question, and they really ran with it. So I'm very proud of them.
So was there more in the group than these 4 students?
So, no, there were 5 different facilities assigned, and most of the groups had about 4 to 5 in each. We did a leadership survey just to kind of gauge, all right, what leadership qualities do we have? And that's how we kind of assigned some of those roles. But then a lot of it was up to them. They had agreements and contracts to determine, okay, well, these are the strengths that I bring to my group, and how can those best be used? And they, I think probably the thing that I was the most proud of, and I'm sure Ms. Hall as well. So when the community came to the showcase, they rated them on professionalism, on their content knowledge, on their model, and every single one of the groups rated to the highest on professionalism. And for the most part, this is freshmen and sophomores. So these are skills that we want them to have and to continue have. So, all right.
Very good job.
I've got a couple questions for the students. So, tell me about what you think about the project-based learning. How do you think it was effective for this kind of a project?
Me personally, I think
Yes.
project-based learning is very scary. Just having kind of like a hard time presenting in front of a bunch of people. But with this project, it was really easy for me to like actually put it into real life scenarios, like knowing, what I need to do to make this something that could actually be like in the real life.
It's easier if you care about it, isn't
It
it?
really is, yeah.
Looks like you guys care about this. This is great. That's really good. This is much better than just going through a unit and talking about these things and then having a quiz and then later a test.
I personally think so. I do. It's easier to grasp for me. It's a lot more interesting.
Great. So,
And you get to learn from like other people and like what they think of it. So
Yeah.
so did you enjoy seeing the other groups and what they had done?
it was very entertaining.
Well, there's a lot to this. You heard everything from clearly defined roles, student choice, community support, learning outcomes. People are stepping out of the box. One of our learning outcomes is oral communication. Some people don't like to speak in front of others, but when they have the patient one day that they have a tough patient, they have to speak in front of their family, we want to prepare them for that in Hardin County Schools. And this is real life. A test score can't measure this.
I really like the idea that you guys talked amongst yourselves, did some surveys, and you set group norms, how you're going to communicate, how you're going to set goals, how you're going to determine whether you met those goals. It sounds like that's what you were talking about, right?
Yes.
That's the beauty of this kind of learning. I think it's really effective, so I'm glad you think so too, because I don't matter much here, you do.
Has any of the four of you met before you all joined into this project?
I had never met anyone here before. We all go to like different schools. I think
Yeah.
Millie and Chloe go to school together, but as far as I know, I don't think we knew
That's
each other.
great coordination.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic, fantastic. And that's how work groups go. You don't know the people, you may have never seen them together, may have never seen them before, but suddenly you're working together for a goal, one goal. So that's really good.
I want to say our community showed up in a really big way. So they all had to invite either family members or hopefully people that they knew that worked in healthcare. And then we invited everybody. I used all my resources and they showed up. I would say we probably had, what do you think, 60? Yeah, probably 60 different community members that came and went through their showcase. So people took time out of their work schedules and things, and I think they really enjoyed it. And I think that our students learned a lot from that because they would ask them real life questions. What are your patient ratios? How do you handle an outbreak? And all the things that we had learned, they were able to really see that, wow, that is important.
I'll add just a couple of things too. I think let me first say with the community, we had roundtables with different careers from from nursing homes, from the hospital, from Lincoln Trail. So different facilities that applied to the facilities that they were working on, which was, I think they were able to take those interviews. It was kind of a reversal. They were able to interview them, receive the knowledge, and then showcase that later on in the trimester, which was successful. And then it's been a learning curve for Ms. Cruz and I as well, because, there's things that we're going to tweak for this trimester. But I think one of the things when we think about professionalism and communication that really stood out to me is we had our advisory committee meeting for health science, and that was one of the things that was brought, is that we are receiving professionals in the industry who cannot communicate with others. So that helped us to see, okay, this is, the students having to talk to the community and present this is hopefully going to be something that they can hold on to and use. So I think it was
Very
successful.
quick question about the advisory. I'm part of the advisory group for Project Lead the Way, which is an engineering thing. But I assume that this is like that, where you bring in people from industry to tell you about their experiences and in some cases, what they see about the employees they're being offered that aren't ready. And that's what you're trying to address, right?
Right. Look at the needs in the local community as far as industry goes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and so that was one of the needs that was brought to the meeting, was communication and the ability to be able to talk to clientele and so forth. Thank you.
That's great, absolutely.
Very impressive. Yeah. Can we turn that toward the TV for the camera so they can see it? You guys stand behind it real quick. John, did you get a picture of these guys? Sure. Give them a camera. I really think we're one of the best districts in the state for this sort of stuff.
Excellent.
Agree.
The color coordination just
That's great.
just totally distracting.
Well, it's not John and Central.
I love it. I love that.
That's great.
Thank you.
It is, yeah.
Impressive.
All right, our department update tonight is from my other department I get to work with, Student Services. So I think that Miss Kim Atkins is presenting tonight. So Kim, I think we're ready for you.
Good evening. How are you all tonight?
Very good.
Thank you for having me tonight. Mr. Wright's got to get me going up there. So tonight, I'm going to present on Safe Schools Update. I'm not going to talk to you about my position as Director of Student Services. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about my position of Safe Schools Coordinator. So as many of you know, in 2019, the General Assembly passed the Safe Schools Resiliency Act. I know many of you know what happened in 2019 and 20, so that was not a real good year for education. So we are full steam ahead, getting caught up on all of the Safe Schools Act and trying to get all of our schools in compliance. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about where we are. So we do have our district trauma-informed education plans developed. You all approved those. I remember time was of the essence on those. We've had them approved, they are adopted, we have been training. We've got ongoing training conducted every year. We do this with counselors, our FRISC coordinators, our school psychologists. We've even trained our SROs in trauma-informed care. So we have now trained over 300 staff, and we have 50 people that are now involved in train the trainer so that we can keep it sustained in our buildings. We also have the Handle with Care notification system in place that goes through all of our police departments to notify us when there's a student who has been involved in trauma or a traumatic event so that we can then have trauma-informed people in the school to service them with needs that they may have. All right, so under the act also, Mrs. Morgan had to appoint a Safe Schools Coordinator. That was part of the act. And there's the KRS link that explains what the Safe School Coordinator does. Well, that is me. So under that KRS, there are many different defined roles that I have and things that I have to keep track of for Mrs. Morgan and for the district. I have to go through training every year. Usually that happens twice a year. And then we also have additional training with GREC, our co-op, that gives us updated information and provides support through a grant that they have. We've designated a threat assessment team in each school. People have been trained on our threat assessment procedures. We know how to react or assess any potential threat. And the SROs have also been trained on that. Javier is nodding, and he is agreeing back there with me. In addition, Safe Schools Coordinator, we have provided all of these trainings to the SRO group. We have a great group of SROs. We meet with them every summer. They don't have to come and be here with us for what we call professional development, but they all come and they all participate and they all work as a group with us to receive all of these safety trainings that we receive. We provide training to the principals and assistant principals on completion of the security risk assessments. We have those risk assessments that come through every year where the Safe Schools Marshal from Kentucky comes down unannounced, walks in, and says, I'm ready to go. Let's check your building out. Let's see what you've got locked, unlocked. Do you have your signage up? Is your SRO present? So principals are trained on how to complete those forms and do a very good job with that. We collaborate with the security teams and the marshal. They feel very comfortable calling us anytime they need to say, you might want to do this, you are doing a great job with that. So they're very good about collaborating with us about any recommendations that they have. Also, under the act, I have to advise Mrs. Morgan of the risk assessments that they've been completed and any deficiencies that we may have. Also, and I've discussed individually with some of the board members, under the Open Records Law Act, we have several things that we are not allowed to disclose to the public for obvious reasons. But we do have policies and procedures that where we keep track of our drills, our lockdowns, emergency plans, active shooter training. We work with our law enforcement agencies to have all of these updated and checked annually. We don't release all of that information to the public. I do house all of that information in my office. Mrs. Morgan has copies of those things in her office. If you would like to review, I'll be happy to set up a meeting and we can chat. Also, another thing that we're doing right now, I didn't add on here, that goes along with the drills. Ms. Gina Ryan and her group are helping us right now with a project that actually our SROs asked for. So we have, Ms. Ryan is going around to some of our schools, and some of our schools volunteered groups of kids to do drills for us so that they could record the drills, and we're making safety videos so that we can share out with our other schools that have our SROs and our students doing lockdown drills, fire drills, earthquake drills, evacuation drills, bomb threat drills, things that we see occur daily. So Ms. Gina has been going around, we've been having a little fun with that. Kids are having fun, they get to be actors, they get to work with their SROs. So we're gonna compile that and hopefully use that as training for our new staff as they come in, so they will know how to do these procedures the correct way. I went yesterday and watched some of the kids at GC Burkhead, and they were having a real good time with being actor for a day with that. Also, terroristic threatening, second degree. As you know, that has been beefed up a lot in KRS. Mrs. Morgan prepares a letter every year that we send out to all of our students to give them written notice about terroristic threatening in the second degree. The letter provides information to students, parents, guardians about the definition and what we will do as a district if they are seen as a threat or pose a threat to a student, staff, school property, or anyone in the school vicinity. SROs across the district are aware of this, and they act on it anytime we need assistance with that. Active shooter training. Now, annually, we have to do this under state law, and annually, all staff who interact with students, which is basically anybody, custodians, bus drivers, secretaries, teachers, they have to go through the 1 hour required active shooter training, and KDE puts a video out to us to use that most of our employees go through online or as a group online in their building. However, also DOCJT prepared that video, but in addition, Kentucky State Police Post 4 here in Elizabethtown have requested that each school in Hardin County be on a 3-year rotation because they want to be prepared to come and assist should they need to react to any situation in our community. So we have them on a rotation, and this past summer, we did 11 schools. So they actually come in and do it in each of their school buildings so that they know this is what it's going to look like in our building. And it's a whole different feeling, and I know some of the principals are here. It's a whole different feeling when you're in your building having that happen than when you're doing it online. So it really helps to prepare some of the staff for what they may see, how they may react, what they may need to do, and where they need to go. So, and that's free from KSP, so that's always great. And they do a great job training our staff. There's some pictures from this summer where the state police came in and did active shooter training with our schools. The Handle with Care notification system, we talked about that a little bit. But just so you are aware, when that notification goes out, and it may be put in by somebody from the Sheriff's Department, Radcliffe Police Department, Kentucky State Police, anybody that interacts with a student who's been involved or exposed to a traumatic event within 24 hours, it sends out a notification. It will come to me. It goes to Ms. Sutton with Family and Health Services. It goes to the SRO assigned to the building, and it goes to the administration in the building. So while they may not come in and say, Mr. Sutton, what happened to you last night? That's not what that's for. It's so that we know when Mr. Sutton shows up for class, if he seems a little tired, or he seems a little sad, or he seems a little hungry, we might know how to better support him in the day. All right, so these are just some additional school safety updates that we have in Hardin County School that we try to be very proactive and not reactive. We have the new AEDs. Ms. Sutton and I got together and got those purchased, got those out to our buildings for the 23-24 school year. We have 56 new ones on school campuses and in our high school facilities for athletics. School maps now show the location of the AEDs in all of our buildings. We bought some Stop the Bleed kits. While I wasn't able to purchase one for every classroom, we did purchase what we could get our hands on, and we put at least 3 and up to 5 kits in each school. We will be buying more Stop the Bleed kits as funding allows for that under Safe Schools. Life Vac choking rescue devices were provided free of charge to our schools by nonprofit Give 270, and each school received 4 devices there. Each school nurse and SRO have access to Narcan for use if needed in our school buildings, and that is provided to us. I'm not certain about the nurses, but the SROs, it's provided to us free of charge for them to use. Each school has a developed and reviewed reunification plan in addition to their evacuation plan, and that's very important. In the event that we do have to evacuate a building and go off-site, we have to have a plan to reunify these students with their parents and guardians. And that's something that you don't really think about until you need it. So they each have a plan. A lot of our local community facilities have provided their facility for us to use free of charge in the event we need to go. School Gate Guardian. I know that if you all have been in a school building, you know what this is, because the front office staff is stopping you and saying, who are you? What are you doing here? Show me your ID. So our School Gate Guardian system has been purchased for use in each school in conjunction with KRS 158. That's to assist in checking the IDs of people that are visitors in our building and printing the badge, which is required under the KRS for someone to have. So if you don't have on one of these, you have to have on a badge under that KRS. So School Gate Guardian, what you may not know, also has an emergency alert or a panic device on it for the office staff to notify in the event there's an unruly person they may need assistance with in the office. So it's been a pretty good purchase, we think, so far. Also, we've got e-hall pass. The high schools asked for that. They're still collecting data on that to let us know how that's working with their students. It kind of gives them a check-in, check-out system to know where kids are in the building and who's checked out at the same time and who may be in the hall at the same time. And it's electronic. Teachers, some like it, some don't, so we're still collecting data to see if that's something we'll continue to use. We purchased the window tint covering for the doors and the windows. I know you've all seen that. A lot of people think that's for decoration, and it can be, but it's really for safety. So we're trying to enhance the look, but also enhance the safety at the same time. New door locks. I have to give a shout out to our maintenance and buildings and grounds department. They have been tremendous at helping me fix the door locks in these older buildings. They've been out there, they've replaced all the ones that are not functioning. And for example, I think North Park Elementary had a key ring with probably no less than 40 keys on it. So we had those changed out. There is one key now that they need to get through that building and into that building. So thank you, Mr. Stith. Thank you, Buildings and Grounds. Thank you, Maintenance Department, for helping with that. New or additional security cameras have been installed in different viewing areas, and each SRO now has a monitor at their school where they can log in and view any camera at any time if the camera is functioning. I will say sometimes we have some glitches and we have to work on those. But we send out a monthly reminder now to the SROs at least once a month. Check all cameras. Report any non-working cameras so that technology can fix those. And just back on that, what I was talking about, the risk assessment that the principals fill out and they show up unannounced and they do their walkthrough. We had 0 non-compliance findings from the state marshal on the unannounced visits for the last 3 years. So that's pretty great. All the doors have been locked. All the markings have been up on the windows. They know their drills. They have their evacuation maps. So while they really didn't get going in the 1920 school year because of other things we had going on in 1920, they've had 0 issues with Hardin County since they have been coming to visit. Hardin County Sheriff's Department SRO group has implemented an educational program on subjects of vaping, drug abuse, digital citizenship, relationships, and distracted driving. They will come and do a presentation for any class or any school that wants that from the SRO group. E-Town Police Department, we have 4 SROs from the E-Town Police Department, and they are all DARE certified. They go to elementary schools in the E-Town area and provide all of the DARE training for the elementary schools that request that. We do have a K-9 unit, AKA a drug dog, from the Hardin County Sheriff's Department that does come and conducts random searches for us in school parking lots and school interiors as requested in order to cut down on some of the drug use and the trafficking of drugs that could possibly come on to school property. Each school has a new cardiac emergency response plan, and all of those are posted throughout, so they know what to do in those events. And now we have a minimum of 3 staff of each school trained in CPR and AED, in addition to our coaches. We have a team of 22 school nurses and 3 nurse practitioners throughout from Cumberland Health. We have contracts with 11 local agencies for school board-based therapy for mental health services in our schools. All of our special needs and our preschool bus drivers and bus monitors are trained in emergency medication administration, as well as drivers who transport special health care needs students. Student Service Department, which is the other piece of my job, we do collect data on a monthly basis. So we collect on any SCM incidents, discipline referrals, suspensions, expulsions, drugs, alcohol, any crisis responses we've had to respond to, and we also talk about PBIS teams. What can the data show for the PBIS teams at the school so that they can up the safety and help with these situations? So they have that data ready for review when they meet in MTSS or PBIS groups in the schools. We've also had National Weather Service come to any school that is asked to do emergency walkthroughs and walk through the procedures with them for guidance and protocol. We've purchased a lot of two-way radios for schools because they need to be able to communicate. You take a high school like Central Hardin, it's a big school. They've got to be able to communicate with one another about any situation or emergency that may be going on in the building. All right, I did bring one visual. Okay, one visual. The stop tip line. So all of the schools have at least 20 of these posters now, and they have gone up in their hallways. So this is an easier way for kids, if they see something, hear something, they can report something. They can just scan that QR code with their phone and report it. They can also access that on our website. They also sent magnets, and I gave those to principals last month to send out to all the students. I've had to order more, some ran out, but now a magnet has gone home with each student that has this same logo and emblem on it, so that they can report any concern. Also, as Safe School Coordinator, I am not required to, but I am on the Hardin County Crime Stoppers Committee. So we go as a group and we meet about every 3 months. I also meet with other educators in the community, and we talk about any potential dangerous activity that we know of, and they assist us from Crime Stoppers with any help that they can give us to a school, as a school district. This is one of the recent things you all were involved in for security measures. This was when we reviewed the weapons detector system that we used over at Central Hardin for a demonstration. So that's, we continue to look at safety measures, security measures, anything we can do to make our schools safer. And also, and I keep bringing this up, but I'm going to keep doing it as long as it's 2023. So 2023, Hardin County Schools was awarded the SRO Promising Program. And Mark Gillingham, who is now Sergeant Mark Gillingham, was awarded SRO of the Year for the region. So that was a very prestigious award. We got to go to Richmond. They recognized our district. And interesting, apparently from the program, and these were the celebrations from the program, it involved the Sheriff's Department, E-Town, and Radcliffe Police Department. Word gets around. So I had a parent group from another district call me 2 days ago and wanted to discuss with me how we did it. How did we get all of our schools covered? How did we get SROs hired? How did we make that happen? Because they want it to happen in their community and they don't know how to do it. So I talked to them a little bit and I said, basically, we took our mayors, we took our board, we took our superintendent, we took our police chiefs, we took our sheriff, and we all sat down. And we tried to figure out, what do we do? How do we make it work? How do we get the right people hired? You don't just hire people, you get the right people hired. And we made it happen. Well, that community didn't feel like, I don't think they felt like they had support from all those people, so I want to thank you for that. I then reached out to their Safe Schools coordinator and said, here's a courtesy call. Here's a courtesy call. So, and here's what we did. But people know us in Hardin County for our SRO program. And people ask us questions about how we did it and how they can do it. So it wasn't easy, and I said it didn't happen overnight. But we now have all of our campuses covered. We have 19 campuses in Hardin County, and they are all covered with a full-time SRO. And that is awesome. Also, SROs, just so you know, while they're there during the school day, we're on the phone at night too, right? We're on the phone on the weekends. And then we have to call principals, and you're on the phone with us, you know, so they don't just stop and go home when it's time to go home. They're taking care of us on the weekends, nights, and during the school day. So in the end, I just wanted to thank you all because you do make it a priority. You do listen when we have safety initiatives, and you do help me research through these things. Because, as you know, it's a different time, and children and staff won't perform their best until they feel safe. So I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate all the help you've given us with Safe Schools initiatives. You're welcome. I don't know where this goes.
I know that in other meetings we've been to, we've been told that Hardin County is held up as an example.
We've been to meetings where, like, some of the marshals were presenting, and they came up to us to say, and it's
Told us that.
one of those things that I can see where people think, you know, we don't have this money, or it could go somewhere else, but when you need it, you're gonna be glad you spent every penny of it, so.
Right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've had a great community, and luckily, John Ward, Mayor Gregory, those people have been police officers for the positions now, which John still is, but they saw the need, and I think there was a lot of help from that group of people.
Had a lot of support with them. And appreciate that very much. All right, okay. No, we had no visitors sign up. Construction updates. We had a report at our noon meeting today from JRA. Pretty much everything is on track for the most part. Central's moving along, trying to now blend from phase 1 to phase 2 and make all that work. We may not be under roof quite as quickly as we wanted, but hopefully not too much of a delay there, and things are going along pretty smoothly. Close to having Woodland wrapped up. Our turf fields are about done. If anybody has not seen the work done at John Hardin, it looks fantastic. And Northfield also, John's just now finishing up their end zone. But yes, both of them look fantastic, and we're excited to see what Central will look like next year. So, I hit on all of them? Okay. All right, next is consideration of the consent agenda.
Ms. Yates will speak to us tonight. Ms. Yates? Okay. I thought maybe you had another plan tonight.
No, she's done. She's just here.
All right.
All right, the consent agenda is pretty straightforward tonight. Instructional services, student services, approval for West Hardin Middle School 8th grade class to travel to Washington, D.C. Via commercial carrier. Financial services, we received the financial reports. And we had some change orders with Central Hardin BG5s on the dugout repair project and property off of Highway 62 at Central. approval of BG1 site acquisition for the new West Hardin Middle School project, and approval to reject the bid for Early Learning Academy, and see if we can work on that some ourselves and get that more reasonable. Approval of BG1 for HVAC lighting upgrades at Lakewood and New Highland Elementary Schools. Trying to take advantage of some government funding there. And Human Resources, we got our certified and classified personnel actions, miscellaneous items, got our SBDM minutes, PAC information, and approval of the changes to policy 5.11, alterations of buildings and grounds, and approval of minutes from our board meetings. Anything in there that anybody wants to discuss, pull out, or anything?
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. No action items? No new business? Superintendent report? And we do not need an executive session tonight. We are flying right through.
One comment I would like to make.
Yes, sir.
We have a Central Hardin student playing in the NCAA volleyball tournament in Michigan, and they won their match today, and they're advancing until tomorrow. That is a major thing.
That's awesome. Awesome for,
Huh?
You know her name?
Yeah, it's Adger. Addie
Addie
Adger.
Adger.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So,
Why does that not surprise me?
Yes, absolutely.
go Addie.
awesome for her, for us, and,
Yes.
and for my alma mater, Transy. Go Pioneers.
Okay, I'll let you throw that in.
All right, board calendar. The offices are closed November 22nd and November 23rd for Thanksgiving and November 24th. Winter break will be December 20th through the 29th. And then our next lunch board meeting will be December 21st at Central Hardin. And then we'll be back here at 6 p.m. for the
At
regular
Central.
board meeting.
That's Central.
That's getting pretty close to Christmas, isn't it?
It's getting really close to Christmas. All right.
Madam
nothing-
Secretary, motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good Thanksgiving.